halting a career to help her sister diagnosed with breast cancer and discovering the amazing health benefits of algae. Yep, you heard me right. Algae. What's the big deal? You'll find out today on Healthy Harmony. Welcome to Healthy Harmony, where we will help you clarify and discuss health tactics to harmonize your life. I am your host and health coach, Jennifer Pickett, and today my guest is Catherine Arnston. Catherine has had an outstanding career working for the Canadian and British governments, has founded 3 companies, and is the publisher for an international magazine. But she put all of this on hold when her sister was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2009, and she was told that she needed to change her diet. Through the extensive research process to help her sister, Catherine discovered the power of algae, the most alkaline, nutrient-dense plant in the world that no one seemed to be talking about. As Catherine dug into the science of algae, she learned that it had 64% protein, 40 vitamins and minerals, and was endorsed by the United Nations and NASA. She also discovered there were 100,000 studies documenting its long list of benefits, but algae remained virtually unknown outside of Asia. How could that be possible? Catherine knew algae could be a game changer for our health, our children, and our world if she could only convince people that it wasn't weird. 8 years in the making, and ENERGYbits, an algae-based company, was born. Catherine is considered now an national expert on nutritional benefits of algae, and ENERGYbits is the only algae company endorsed by doctors, nutritionists, and Olympic athletes. She's been featured on Shark Tank, CBS, NBC, Fox News, numerous podcasts, including the Joe Rogan Experience and the Ben Greenfield podcast, just to name a few. And now here she is with us. Catherine, I'm really excited to have you with us. And I have to say, I'm really curious about what's the big deal with algae. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. That was quite a wonderful introduction. I feel so honored.
This is going to be some really good conversation. I know we've got some people's attention, but I think first things first, I want to know how your sister is doing.
Yes. Well, I'm delighted to say almost 12 years later, she is still cancer-free. She did go through chemo, but she did change her diet to an alkaline one on her doctor's recommendation. And I see her at least a couple times a year and to celebrate. So she's great. And both of our lives changed. She obviously, and by helping her, I discovered plant-based nutrition and algae. And so I'm hoping to change other people's lives as well for the better.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so you mentioned the word alkaline. And so I want to make sure that we kind of clarify for our listeners what her doctor asked her to do and why he asked her to do that.
Yes. Well, a lot of people know that your temperature needs to be 98.6 to be healthy, but there's another number that you need to be aware of, and it's the pH level of your blood. And to be healthy, it needs to stay at, I think it's 7.34. And what happens when you eat acidic food like processed food or sugar, dairy, those change, they make your blood briefly acidic. And so because your body knows it needs to stay at this balanced middle ground of 7.3, because the range is from 0 to 14, and the higher numbers are more acidic. So what it does to balance out that bad acidic food is it pulls out minerals from your bones, from your organs, anywhere it has magnesium, potassium, all those other minerals stored, so that it can instantly restore your pH to the blood that it should be. But when this happens over and over and over again, it wears down your immune system. It pulls out important minerals from your bones, from your organs, and it makes you more likely to get sick. So when she knew she was going to put my sister through chemo, the most important thing is to build your immune system. And one of the best ways to do that is with plant-based nutrition because of the chlorophyll that is in plants and the phytonutrients. And these all help restore your pH, your blood pH, and they also help clean your cells, and they just help you build everything much healthier.
That's that strong immune system.
Yeah. And we're going
Very
to talk about the immune
impressive.
system a little later.
I would absolutely love that.
COVID-19. So
I'm so impressed that the doctor, first of all, had just understood the importance of nutrition and that she needed to change her diet so that she could boost her immune system. First of all, that impresses me, and it just doesn't always happen. So I think that's one thing that grabs my attention first.
Yes, and I have to let you know, first of all, it was in Canada. I am Canadian. I live in Boston, so our Canadian healthcare system is quite different than the American one.
Okay.
And second of all, her oncologist was a woman. So women, I just find, are a little bit more in tune with nutrition, whether they're professional or not. So I think those two factors, and I'm so grateful that she did say that to my sister, and because I'm sure it made a difference in the speed of her healing, the longevity of her healing, and it certainly changed my life.
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. So as you guys really sought to change her diet and incorporate more foods that were nutrient dense and that were going to really boost her immune system and help her body fight, how in the world did you stumble upon algae of all things?
Well, because I didn't come from a nutrition background, I was a business person. So I just Googled everything I could to find things that, and there is a lot of science. This is what happens. They say, if you don't have a red car, you don't notice red cars until you have one, and suddenly you see them everywhere. If you weren't aware of alkaline diets, and now you are, you'll see that there's amazing amounts of research. So I just Googled whatever I could, bought about 10 books, learned and educated myself as much as I could because I love my sister and I wanted to help her. And along the way, I did discover the algae. But I will admit, I didn't spend a lot of time on algae until later, because after my sister did heal and I saw the power of green nutrition, I thought I need to tell more people about this. So that's when I gave up my corporate career for good, because I'd put it on hold to help her. And I went back to school, studied nutrition. And when I graduated, I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York. It's now just online, but I went to it when it was still, you still went to the courses. There were 1,400 people in my class.
Oh my goodness. That's
and it was held at Lincoln Center. Of course, with all social distancing, that certainly wouldn't be held any longer. Anyways, when I graduated in November or July of 2009, I thought, well, now what? So I put together a curriculum teaching plant-based nutrition, and I gave it for free to corporations and hospitals, basically anybody who would let me in to share my knowledge. And I learned a very valuable lesson, which is what led me to algae. The lesson I learned was, and I'm sure all your listeners will understand this, everybody knows they should eat more greens. Your mother told you to eat more greens. It's just intuitively, you know that there's more nutrition in there. However, what I learned was that, it takes so much time. The vegetables are heavy to carry home. They take a lot of work to clean. They take a lot of work to cook. People don't like the flavor. Their husbands, their kids, sometimes won't eat them. And so I'm thinking, well, how can I help people be healthier with green nutrition if I can't get them to eat greens? So I thought, okay, I've got to find something that's fast, easy, simple, maybe doesn't taste green, doesn't require any work. And that's when I went back and reviewed all the things I had found for my sister, trying to find something that might be a little bit more compatible with our busy, harried lifestyle. And that's when I just, thought, I'm going to check out this algae stuff a little bit more. And that's when things completely turned upside down for me. I was like Alice in Wonderland falling down the rabbit hole.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I found out that algae was the most nutrient dense food in the world, box checked. It was the most alkaline food in the world, box checked. It's been used for thousands of years, most notably 50 years in Asia, where it's a huge industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's almost as big as the beef industry is here. So it's considered quite normal in Japan or Taiwan or Korea to have algae every day, and they do every day. So And then it's been studied. There's 100,000 studies about documenting all the different health benefits, and we're going to talk about some of them here.
Yeah, definitely.
The United Nations says it's the answer to world hunger. In 1974, they had a global conference on spirulina and declared it the answer to world hunger in 1974 because it has the highest amount of protein in the world. It's 3 times the amount of protein as steak. NASA endorses it because it's also the fastest growing organism, and it's full of nutrients. They feed it to the astronauts. So and it comes in tablets. So if you swallow the tablets, although you can chew them, you don't even taste any green. So
crazy.
Instead of forcing people to cook and clean and carry groceries home and blah, 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 if you just take 3 or 4 tablets a day, swallow them, chew them, add them to trail mix, your smoothies, salads, you get all the nutrients, the green, alkaline, fabulous nutrients that you need to be healthy. And algae is food. It's a food crop.
I love it. Okay. So here's the question. I've got to interrupt real quick. Here's the question, because I know our listeners are like, okay, please tell me what algae is. Because I think a lot of us are thinking, is it that stuff that grows on ponds? Right. Like, what's the deal? What is the deal with algae? What is it?
Yes. Well, it is a food category. So you have fruits and vegetables, and algae is its own category. And there are 2 main types of algae. One is called macroalgae, and this is seaweed, kelp, dulse, and that grows all in the ocean. It's big and stringy. Doesn't have a lot of nutrients, but has a lot of fiber in it. And then the one we're talking about is microalgae. So you have macroalgae and microalgae. And microalgae is called microalgae because it's microscopic. It's so tiny you can't see it. This is what the fish eat. This is what the whales eat. Microalgae grows everywhere. Yes, it grows in your aquarium. Yes, it goes in your swimming pool. It's in the ocean, in the lakes. But, and so there are 2 main types of microalgae. One is called blue-green, and the other one is green. Now, the only 2 of these microalgae that you want to consume are the ones that are harvested as crops, because all other algae, the algae that's in your swimming pool, the algae that's growing in your neighborhood, pond, those are poisonous to humans. It's fine for the animals. It's fine for the fish. Not good for us. So please don't eat any
of it. Yes. Please do not go out and lick the pond.
Right.
Lick the pond scum.
Exactly. Right. So the only 2 that you want to grow are harvested, and they have been harvested, as I mentioned, for 50 years. And so we're well known and we're trusted and sold only by doctors, nutritionists, chiropractors nationwide, because ours is the safest, purest, nutrient-dense algae you can get. And one of the things we do is we grow it in triple filtered spring mountain water. We grow ours in Taiwan. Taiwan is world-renowned for having the highest quality standards, highest quality algae. The company that grows it for us has been growing it for 50 years. Like I said, this is...
My goodness.
I tell people algae isn't new. It's just new to you. And the analogy I make is, 20 years ago, nobody had heard about stevia, but it had been around in South America for thousands of years, or you'd never heard about kiwa or chia seed, but it had been used in
Good example.
Venezuela or for decades, thousands of years. And so the same thing with algae. It's just new to America because nobody has explained what it does properly. Nobody has made sure the quality is as high as ours is, because a lot of it comes from China. Please don't buy any algae from China. They don't tell the truth about what's inside. And no one's educated them or packaged it. Like, I'm very proud. I design our packaging, and I design it so it's really consumer friendly and lively and happy and easy, because we want people to be happy buying it, taking it out of their handbag, taking it out of their fridge, because the algae will change your life. It's so nutrient dense, it's incredible. So the reason why you don't know about it is because no one's done that. They've not explained it properly. Yes. They've not packaged it properly, and they haven't made sure the quality is high. But it is a food crop. It's no different than kale or broccoli or lettuce. The kind that you find in the stores, those are the 2 are going to talk about is spirulina and chlorella. Those are the 2 that you consume and that you purchase from us. Now, spirulina is the blue-green algae. And what spirulina does is it gives you energy, both mentally, physically. It satisfies your hunger. And it does all that because it has the highest concentration of protein in the world. Remember, the United Nations endorsed it for that reason. It has all the B vitamins, and the B vitamins are what give you energy. If you see any energy drinks, they're loaded with B vitamins.
Yes,
but algae
they're
has
touting the B vitamins for sure.
Yes. And also B vitamins are very important for your immune system. So we'll talk about that as well. It's also, spirulina is loaded with essential fatty acids like omega-3. I tell people, a lot of people eat fish because they know it's good brain food, or they take fish oil for reducing inflammation. But I say, where do you think the fish get the omega-3 from? They get it from algae. So
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. I'm so glad you brought that up. We have to look at sourcing, right?
Yes.
Where do the fish get those omega-3 fatty acids? And the research is just growing on the power of omega-3 fatty acids.
Yes.
And how important that is, not for things like that people don't think about, even things like mood and how we feel. So very, very fascinating to kind of bring that example. So tell us about the second type of algae. Yeah.
So we call our, and it also builds your skin and hair health again because the high protein, high antioxidants. So we call our spirulina. We have two brands. One is ENERGYbits because it gives you energy, and the other one is ENERGYbits because it builds your skin and hair health. But they're exactly the same, just packaged differently because we wanted something girly for us girls, and so ENERGYbits is very girly.
Yes, love it. I love it.
Yeah. The other algae is chlorella. I know it's a little tough to say and tough to spell, so we call ours ENERGYbits because what chlorella does is it helps you recover your health. Remember I said spirulina has the highest protein in the world? Well, chlorella has the highest chlorophyll in the world. Remember, this all started back with my sister's doctor telling her to change her diet to an alkaline diet, and it was because of the chlorophyll that is alkaline. Chlorophyll builds your immune system. Chlorophyll cleans your cell walls. And the way I explain to people is that, chlorophyll is what they call a fat-based pigment. It's what makes plants green. And the reason why that's important is because chlorophyll heals your cell walls. And, when you have dirty windows, the analogy I make is if you have dirty windows at home or in your car, you can't see out and sunlight can't get in. And so certainly if it's your car, that's an accident waiting to happen. So think of chlorophyll as the window washers for your cell walls.
I love that analogy. So the window washers of your cell walls. And I think most people don't understand the value and the importance of cell health.
Yes.
So I really love that analogy.
Yes. Well, because everything starts at the cellular level. And so if your cell walls are healthy, that allows nutrients to get in and toxins to get out. And if they can't do that, your cells get full of toxins, they start to get damaged, and that leads you to a lot of illness. And so we want to keep those cell walls healthy and happy.
Yes.
And chlorophyll does that. So chlorella has the highest amount of chlorophyll in the world. Now, the other very important thing to know about chlorella is it has the hardest cell wall in the plant kingdom. And the reason why that's important is because that hard cell wall attaches to toxins. It will pull out anything: lead, mercury, aluminum. It pulls out radiation. It pulls out lactic acid. So athletes use it after a workout. It pulls out alcohol.
Okay.
We work with biological dentists who use it when they're taking out amalgams because they have mercury in them, and they make sure that their patient has the chlorella, and as well as them, because there's fumes from the mercury. Chlorella was used at Chernobyl, Hiroshima, Fukushima, because everybody knows it's the only thing that pulls out radiation. So if you know anybody also that's getting chemotherapy, if you take the chlorella after your treatment, it will pull out the excess chemotherapy so that you aren't as sick. So chlorella is a wellness algae. Spirulina is an energizing algae. So we generally suggest people take the spirulina in the morning and the afternoon, anytime you're hungry, anytime you're fatigued, before a workout, before exams, before anything that you're going to, you should have it every day. And quite honestly, when you take both of them, or even just one of them, there's so many vitamins and nutrients. There's 40 vitamins and nutrients in there. Yeah, it can be a replacement for your multivitamin. It can be a replacement. You don't need any magnesium. You don't need calcium. You don't need any of those minerals. Spirulina, because it satisfies your hunger, can be a snack. It can be a meal replacement. So you'll end up buying fewer groceries, and none of them require any work, any preparation, any cleaning, no cleanup. And everybody, if you don't like the flavor, you can swallow them. So whether you have teenagers or young newborns can take them, grandparents can take them, pets love them. So there's no, it's just a food. It's very high dense.
Yeah.
It's called a superfood, but quite honestly, I call it a super duper food because it does so much for you. So generally spirulina in the morning and the afternoon because you're hungry and you're tired. And then we suggest you take the chlorella, which we call ENERGYbits, at night, because during the day you've probably absorbed some toxins. Maybe you had a workout, maybe you had some wine. So if you're used to taking chlorella at night, then your body detoxes while you're sleeping anyways. It facilitates the detox. Now, that being said, you can take either one of them any time of the day, alone, together, with food, instead of food. It doesn't matter. I will say the spirulina is extraordinarily chewy because it has so much protein and so much essential fatty acids.
Okay, very interesting.
And it has a very earthy flavor. So a lot of people don't like the chewiness because it sticks a teeny bit briefly to your teeth. So they swallow that one. But the chlorella, it's very dry and crunchy, and it tastes like a soy nut or a sunflower seed. And when you chew it with sea salt or almonds or macadamia nuts, OMG, it is
really
delicious.
Good, right?
Delicious. So a lot of people do like to chew that, and it's a great snack. And so it's not just a healing snack or a healthy snack, it's a healing snack because it's pulling out toxins. It's building your immune system with the chlorophyll. It has lots of other nutrients like vitamin K2, which is a whole nother topic on its own, which pulls out calcium from soft tissue like your blood vessels and puts it into your bones. So the two of them are like your power center. And when you take them, I promise you'll feel the energy. It's very quiet energy because it's from nutrition. There's no stimulants, there's no sugars, no caffeine. So the best way we describe it is you'll just feel fresh. You'll feel like you just had a great night's sleep and that you're ready for the day. And
I like that.
Like who doesn't want to feel like that?
So true. But I think, it just leads me to my next question, because I think so many people are sick and tired.
Yes.
They are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
They're struggling and they don't know why. So, Katherine, in all of your research and in some of your training, why do you think so many people are struggling with chronic illness nowadays?
Well, because here's what's happened. Our soils have been monocropped to death. So they're either growing corn or soy or wheat. And so there's no minerals left in the soils. And they're using, glyphosate, which is so damaging to your health. So even if you're eating greens and even if you're eating real food, there's just not enough nutrition in the soil for the plants to absorb. So we're all nutrient deprived. And then on top of that, so many people are eating processed food, fast food, sugar, all of which damage your immune system, all of which, there's a field called epigenetics. They've realized that these nutrients, these enzymes and coenzymes and vitamins in the food that you're eating literally speak to your cells. And so I said, well, there's no conversations going on right now because there's almost no nutrients. And so, and which leads me a little bit into the COVID-19 because I give a lot of lectures now about COVID-19.
I'm sure.
And the reason why there's so many people getting sick with it is because they don't have a strong immune system. And people, including myself previously, don't understand what their immune system does. So I'm going to give you a quick 30-second summary. Your immune system is your defense mechanism. And I realized there are two parts to your immune system. One which I call visible and one invisible. The visible one is very easy. It's your skin, it's your nose, it's your mouth. These are places where there's mucous membranes. And so if you get cut, your skin will, suddenly send white blood cells to protect you. If you inhale something that's toxic, your nose will immediately alert your immune system. So that part's easy. You can figure out how your immune system is working there. But the more important part is what I call your invisible immune system. And what this is the cells that your immune system creates to defend you. So these are things that are called antibodies. There's T cells, B cells, killer cells, macrophages. Now, it doesn't matter really that you don't need to know all these cell names. Although if you want to, we have documents on our website at ENERGYbits.com and you can learn more about it. The important thing to know is that in order for your body to defend you, it needs antiviral nutrients to create these cells, these immune cells that you don't even know exist. And the analogy I make for people so they can understand this, because it gets the nutrients from food. And of course, algae has all the nutrients that you need. But the analogy I want to give you is, hey, when you have a dinner party, what's the first thing that you do? You go to the grocery store and you buy the ingredients for your appetizer, your entree, your dessert, right?
Right.
No grocery shopping, no dinner party. Well, yes. Your immune system works the same way. If you do not give your body and its immune system the nutrients it needs to build those defense cells, those killer cells, macrophages, antibodies, if you don't give them the nutrients, it cannot create these cells to defend you. And this is why 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Because that's
I talk about that a lot, Catherine, a whole lot.
That's where your immune system finds all the nutrients. You've got to do the grocery shopping. You've got to give it what it needs. And so I'm so happy because the algae has virtually everything that your immune system needs to be able to defend you. And this is why most of the people that are getting sick and dying from COVID tend to be elderly, or they have they have a pre-existing condition, very often diabetes or heart disease, because if you're elderly, I can almost promise you're not eating a rich, nutrient-dense diet. And if you're already ill, your immune system is already working overtime to protect you. And so there just isn't enough juice left to build these immune cells that your body needs to defend you. So I'm so happy to tell people, hey, look, you don't have to run out and buy 20 different supplements, or you don't have to be cooking up a storm every day to make sure you're getting all the nutrients your body needs to build these immune cells. You can get it from the algae. And as you know, COVID-19 is a respiratory illness and it attacks your lungs. But I'm not sure if other people understand the other serious part of it, which is the virus goes into your blood. And in your blood, you have a iron atom, and iron is what carries oxygen. And so the virus goes into your blood cells and kicks out the iron atom and inserts itself. And so now your blood can no longer carry oxygen because the iron atom is gone. And this is why people are dying from heart disease or heart attacks from the COVID, because there is no oxygen left in your blood to support your organs, particularly your heart. This is why they're being put on ventilators. And what I want people to understand is that algae is the highest concentration of chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is virtually identical to your blood. It is exactly the same chemical composition. Go online, you can check it out.
Oh, that's interesting.
The only difference is that in the center of the chlorophyll is a magnesium atom, and your blood has iron. And when you have a virus, what it does, if you have any disease, it causes your blood to clump because the negative charge is gone. So that's the other reason why people are dying from a heart attack, is the blood is clumping because the virus has made the blood acidic. Remember, this all started because my sister's doctor told her she needed an alkaline diet because the alkaline diet keeps your blood healthy and keeps which means it keeps the negative charge on your hemoglobin so they don't clump, and so they stay healthy. So it all starts to make sense when you start to understand how your body works. And how
it really does when you get into the science.
Yes, it's all about the immune system, chlorophyll, giving your body what it needs. It can't magically defend you. It's just like you can't magically have a dinner party if you haven't gone grocery shopping.
So true. Yes, I do like that analogy. I think it's all about what are we doing to boost our immune system. And we can either boost our immune system or we're going to end up suppressing our immune system. And I think it really does take a very comprehensive approach. Obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but chronic disease has been on the rise for years and years and years. Yes. So as a globe, we are becoming unhealthier, and we need to start paying attention to what we put in our mouth. And as a health coach, I firmly believe it's that comprehensive approach. So what can we do to look closely at what we're putting in our mouth, put in the right things, the fruits and the vegetables, but also take really good supplements, get that rest, drink that water, and make sure we've got those healthy lifestyle changes. I love your passion around this subject, Catherine. I absolutely love it. I always love connecting with others who are passionate about helping others get healthy. So thank you so much for joining us today. As we wrap this up, you knew I was going to ask this question. In the intro, I said that you were on Shark Tank. Right. So I want to hear real quick about your experience before we wrap up this podcast. Sure.
Well, it was a great experience, and I had no inside track. I just went online and I filled out the form and I got selected. And interestingly, apparently 40,000 companies apply every year. They say it's now harder to get on Shark Tank than it is to get into Harvard.
Oh, funny. Oh, that's funny.
But it took 8 months of like sending the materials and doing videos and being interviewed. And then finally I got selected, and once you get selected, it was really exciting because they flew me out to Hollywood, and we had a rehearsal. And it is true, the sharks never know anything about you until the moment you walk out in front. You're all everything is documented, and the dialogue is with the producers. And I knew that they didn't invest, by the way, and I didn't actually want their money, but I did want to get on national television.
Yes.
So I accomplished my goal, and I told them to swallow the algae because I knew they probably wouldn't like the flavor, but they chewed it, and they didn't like the flavor. And that was a few years ago, and the awareness of algae is now finally starting to really take root because, as I mentioned, it's a huge industry in Asia. People needed to be educated. Mm-hmm. So I think if I went on the show now, they might be a little bit more cooperative. But it was funny because Mark Cuban said to me on the show, and you can still download it, they've aired me like 20 times. He said, "We don't think you're passionate and in love with being an entrepreneur. You're just in love with algae."
Oh, how funny.
And I said, "Well, if you knew as much about algae as I did, you would be in love with algae too." So,
yes.
So I had a great experience. I'm very grateful for them for showcasing passionate entrepreneurs like myself. And I know one day we will be successful. I consider myself a success every day because every day somebody buys our algae, and we feel like we're like an adoptive agency because we know it's going to help people.
Yes, most definitely.
And feel better. So we're still very, very tiny, but we're no less passionate. In fact, I'm more passionate than ever because I've now got 10 years of algae research under my belt. And I just know, and it's eco-friendly and sustainable. So I encourage people to try it because there's so much nutrition, and we sell them in large bags of 1,000 tablets. And
tell us, as we're wrapping up here, tell people where they can find out more about you, more about algae, and more about your company, ENERGYbits.
Yes. Our website is ENERGYbits.com, ENERGY, B for boy, I, T for Tom, S.com. And that's where you can learn a lot about us. We sell the large bags of 1,000 tablets there. And we have a 20% discount code we'd like to share with your community.
I love that.
Yes, there you go. It works on all the products. There's only 4 products. And when you get into the shopping cart, you'll see a coupon box. All you need to do is type in the word Inspire Healthy, all one word, and you'll see the 20% taken off on the screen. And just so you know, NASA says algae has 1,000 times more nutrition than any other fruits and vegetables. So we did the math and figured out that one bag of our algae tablets has the equivalent nutrition of 30 grocery carts of food, which is 550 pounds fruits and vegetables. And if you try to buy that, it would have been like $1,500 worth of fruits and vegetables. So it's what I call efficient nutrition. But if you're not ready for a full bag, you can also go to Amazon, and we sell them in little pouches of single servings. There's 30 tablets in a little pouch, and they're $4. So you can buy the ENERGYbits and BeautyBits are both the spirulina. They're the ones that give you energy and build your skin and hair health and satisfy your hunger. People love them for intermittent fasting or losing weight. So ENERGYbits and BeautyBits are spirulina. Chlorella is the one that builds your immune system and pulls out toxins. And that one's called ENERGYbits because it helps you recover your health. And then we have a fourth product that we call VitalityBits, which is a blend of the two algae. So it's 50% spirulina, 50% chlorella. So you get a little bit of the energy and a little bit of the immune system support at the same time.
Fantastic. I just love your...
Yeah, and we're active on social media. Our handle is ENERGYbits. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But do come and visit us at ENERGYbits.com. There's a lot of science there. We're happy to send you more if you have particular interests. I've written about 200 papers myself. We have links to at least 2,000 of the 100,000 studies. Everything is all science-based. There's no mystery. It's just that we just need to help people understand.
Yeah, definitely. I love your passion on the subject, and I love how this is firmly rooted in science. I know I already took my ENERGYbits today, right before we got on this. I really like these, and I have just added that to healthy living and eating the right foods. So I do think it's just an amazing support to the body. So thank you so much for your passion. Thank you for coming on here and joining us today. Guys, as always, remember to connect with us on your favorite platform of choice, Inspire Healthy Harmony on Facebook or Instagram. If you would like to take advantage of that 20% discount code at ENERGYbits.com, just use the promo code Inspire Healthy. And hey, if you try it, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. I always love to hear your feedback. So until we meet again, I hope you have a healthy and happy day. Bye, y'all.